All right, guys, so we're gonna give you that putting lesson today. You've been asking for it, and Mike's gonna walk you guys through what he showed me that's been working so well. I've had 4 rounds with only 2 3-putts, which, like I said before, best I've ever putted. So we're gonna go down to the practice green right behind us that you see and get into it.
So the first time I've ever seen the claw was in the '98 Masters with Mark O'Mara when he won. Everyone was like, what is this guy doing? He's kind of older, he kind of lost his putting stroke. And the first thing he did was his right hand, he grabbed the club with like this and started moving it on an even rotation. And people were like, what's wrong with him? How's that gonna work? And all of a sudden he ended up winning the Masters. So I thought I would simplify what works for me based off of that. And obviously a lot of the guys like Adam Scott, Phil Mickelson, and Sergio Garcia all have different types of setups. So I just kind of modified it in between theirs and this. And so I came up with kind of the pencil claw, like modified grip. And let me show you how it works. So with your left hand, it's gonna go straight down the line, just like you normally would. And then all you're gonna do is pick out your line. You're gonna have your right hand, kind of like a pencil, just grab it from underneath. So the right index finger is going to go right along the back end of the shaft. The middle finger is going to be whatever feels comfortable for you. So whether if it's on the back or a little bit in between. Adam Scott has his like this. Mine's more like this and coming from underneath. So maybe play around with it and see if you like it like that or if you like it coming from underneath. But all I do is make sure that I pick out my line. My right hand, my right index finger comes from the side right here. And I have an open stance so that my right eye can actually see the line going straight to the cup. So your left hand is going to go straight down the line. The right index finger is going to come off to the back end of the shaft. The middle part of your grip is going to either go underneath or around, whatever you feel comfortable with. So for me, I like it just to go behind it. So all my fingers are kind of lined up like that from underneath. So I'm not really, over gripping the right hand. So I get my setup just like that. So the first thing I do is I try and get my line, I visualize it. I try and make sure that my right eye is a little bit underneath my left eye. I make sure that both of my eyes are over the golf ball. Then I open up my stance, both pretty narrow, just like Marco has. And then I get my hands positioned properly. And then I make sure that my setup and my ball position is correct. And then I go ahead and take my stroke.
And so my grip, guys, is very similar to Mike's. Left hand is, you have your thumb just going straight down the shaft, a nice firm grip on there. And then what I do with my right hand is I just basically, I make like a little a V with it, and I'll just slide it in and across, and then I push my fingers down. So I'll go in and then down, and then I'll adjust my stance after I get the grip. But the grip's the most important part, obviously, because if you have a good, comfortable grip on there, it's all about having that club face nice and square as to where your target is down the line. So I always get positioned. After I read my putt, I get positioned, and then I look at the line on the putter, and I really focus on visualizing almost a red beam coming out of that line straight down where it's going. And that's what I use to kind of line up my putts, is I just visualize that beam, red beam going towards the target, and I just will literally move it around a little bit until I find it, and then I'll go back and take that stroke. The biggest thing you guys will notice with our putting strokes, even though they're really similar and our setups are similar, they still have their nuances and they're different. We've modified them to work for us, and that's what I think a lot of people don't do. They try to just take what the pros are doing and do exactly what they're doing, but really putting is all about feel, as you guys know. So whatever feels the most comfortable. And for me, what I was missing in my setup was that I was pushing and pulling putts a lot, along with missing the speed. But that was really the biggest part, was getting it online, getting the ball started online. And with this type of setup, it just lets me get it online, and that in itself has drastically changed my putting and given me more confidence. And same with Mike. I mean, you were missing a lot of short putts before. you went to this new stroke.
So before I was left-hand low, and I did that for probably 10 years, and I just kept missing all these 3-footers, and it was driving me crazy. So eventually I got fed up with it, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna commit to the pencil claw grip for a year, see how it goes. And I was averaging about 50 rounds a year, and I said if I ended up hitting 10 rounds under par, I'll keep the grip. And I ended up doing 12 rounds under par. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this grip, I'm gonna continue on. This is my second year doing it, and I love it. I think, you know, for me, I haven't taken any professional lessons. I'm kind of self-taught, and I kind of go with what feels right for me, and this feels correct. And Marco obviously saw that it improved on my putting, and I think he kind of got a little, you know, antsy with his left-hand low,
Yeah.
and he kind of ended up doing the same thing as me and modified it to what felt comfortable for him. And
Exactly
now
right.
he's obviously putting great, and he's beating me pretty much consistently on the greens. So
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
So hopefully that helps you guys out. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions about the setup or anything, but don't overthink it. I mean, you guys saw the grip, you see our stance, how it's open, and obviously Mike's is a little bit more closed than mine, but still open to how you traditionally would set up to a putt. So give it a shot and let us know how it works out for you guys.
Yeah, and play around with it, have fun. You know, nothing is incorrect. You know, check out Adam Scott's setup. I think he's got a really good one.
Yeah.
He's been putting great, and just mess around with it, have fun.
All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit a thumbs up, and we'll see you for the next one.